What is a fun fact about depression? Depression harms short-term memory. Combine with alcoholism to self-medicate and you can lose decades. I notice my depression gets bad when I willingly let all my plants die in my house. Takes 10 seconds to water, but my brain's like, not too much work. This, not being able to care for anyone or anything else. You never really realize you have it until you find yourself crying because of everything and nothing at the exact same time. But not always crying. For some it's just a complete repression of any emotion, leading to essentially being completely numb. You don't want to be dead, but you wished you didn't exist. You hope for everyone and also no one to reach out to you at the same time. I shut down social media for weeks at a time and turn my phone on silent. But then get bummed when no one reaches out. Anagrams include iron speeds, dope sirens, O dispenser, etc. If I were to indirectly tell someone that I have depression, I'd tell them that I was suffering from dope sirens. The lockdown had little real effect on my day-to-day life. You're sad you're alone. But when someone likes you, you freak out and aren't able to even talk to them. So you just keep sad, lonely, and now you have the title of not knowing what you want. But you know what you want, but just can't handle it. Sorry for typos. English isn't my first language and I'm not proficient. Since this thread is lacking fun facts, depression makes your bed feel cozier. It brings you in touch with the sad songs. It gives you perspective on how you want your life to be. It courts you, calls you, drags you down, but gives you a gluttony of sins to help it hurt less. It tells you a fate that may be yours if you take it. And if you resist it, it may show you the way out. Take little steps. When most people learn I am depressed, they think I'm sad or suicidal. They lose interest after I tell them it's more like I can do nothing for days, weeks, months, without caring about it. It can cause you to lose the ability to cry. There is something called depressive realism. Basically, people who suffer from depression are far less susceptible, or even downright immune to biases. It's much easier for us to see the world for what it really is. I feel that I have a superpower to detect bullshit right away. That most people aren't violently depressed all the time, but what happens are episodes of depression. Also that lots of people are so severely depressed that are really good at putting on a mask and pretending to be happy and thriving in public just to completely break down and regress every time. You're alone. To all of my acquaintances, I'm extremely happy, extroverted, super involved on campus. But you wouldn't know that I haven't done the dishes in weeks. My room looks like a bomb went off, and my to-do list is rapidly piling up because I can't find the energy to get anything done. Alone pros, alone cons, alone. There's nothing fun about depression. You don't realize how bad it truly was until you start feeling better. I've been depressed for most of my life and it always just seemed normal to me. I always thought that it was just how it is. Now that I'm finally on the road to stabilizing myself, I look back at pictures and remember how god-awful I felt at the time. That it can be hidden very easily if you're smart about it. And nobody, including your closest friends and family, will ever even suspect that you're suffering from it and that it's destroying your life. Yeah, fun. Mental health improves with age. Those struggling need to hold on. With age, things will on average ease up, or you just become stronger. It's like developing immunity. I don't know if I'd call it getting stronger. I think you just get so used to it that it stops being as devastating. I like the immunity comparison. Source for this? Can you not ask for a source while a guy's trying to give hope? The thread is asking what a fun fact is. Not give me hope. Facts require truth. A lot of depressed boys falsely claim that girls who actually do have depression don't have it in, are just a bunch of attention-seeking whores. I, a depressed male, got curious on this and decided to do some research. And yeah, I found out depression affects boys and girls differently. For instance, about 66% of people who have been diagnosed with depression have been female, but around 80% of recorded suicides have been of males. And this once again ties into how differently depression affects men and women. Something I noticed is that you can tell how depression affects the two genders differently is by looking at the music taste of a depressed male and female. Girls' depressing music is usually stuff that is more melancholy, lo-fi, and calm. Stuff like Billie Eilish, Lil Peep, Moo, etc. While boys' depressing music is usually more vocal, loud, aggressive, and overall more hardcore. System of a Down, Nirvana, Slipknot, etc. Girls with depression tend to get sadder easier, while boys are usually more angsty and aggressive because of depression. So no, the girl you are claiming isn't depressed, most likely is depressed. She just acts differently because of it than you. Well, Tuck. Now I feel like a sexist fuck. I've always hated the word and even half correlated with attention. When I got an episode, I'd cope by saying this ain't shit and I am not depressed. I am still a bit in denial and kinda don't wanna post this. I kinda miss the pressure of it. I would add that a lot of men just don't seek help. It escalate then lead to suicide. Mania is awesome. You feel super talking, outgoing, smart, handsome, etc., productive. Then the mania subsides and you start to loathe about your actions and behaviors. I've just started to own my mania and realize my friends are still my friends. They know I am like this and they love me. Don't be so hard on yourself about your mania, guys. It's not easy, but with patience it can be done. Appreciate your mania, roll with it, and when it wanes, take it easy. Don't hate, judge yourself, and be overly critical. I like to think of it like how Naruto harnessed and uses the Kyuubi. Most antidepressants make it super duper hard to orgasm, and sex is less enjoyable overall. Ding ding ding. Your choices. Wanna throw yourself off a 10-story building? Or never want to have sex again? Enjoy. You can sleep the time away and don't care, despite scientific evidence that it does, in fact, exist. You still have idiotic monks saying that it isn't real. Have you tried just not being sad? I was very depressed last week too, but now I am all fine again. Makes for a good writer. That depressed people score higher, better, on realism tests. You will discover physical ailments that your body quite literally creates. But there isn't actually anything wrong with you. When you are free from it, life feels so much more precious. Easier said than done though. Self-love is a hard process because you beat yourself up so much when depressed. It's nearly impossible to remember that you do indeed have value and you matter too. You literally perceive colors as less vibrant. Oh my god, I am not the only one. I thought that maybe I was overthinking things and looking too hard. But yeah, this is true. Oh yeah, abso-fucking-lutely this, haha. One of the saddest moments in my life was when my depression was easing off, and everything was so pretty and beautiful. My cat had just passed away that day. For me, visualizing past memories feel more gray than they are in real life. Is this true? My therapist suggested I start drawing again to help express myself. I thought I was going crazy because all of my colored pencil art looks dull even when everyone tells me it looks bright. That you can get better. That there is hope at the end of the tunnel. Maybe not entirely cured, but better. Every psychology professors, therapist, and psychiatrist have all told me the same thing. Depression cannot be truly cured, its symptoms can only be managed or greatly reduced. It may sound cliché, but medication, treatment and lifestyle changes are really the things to ultimately end the overbearing negative mindset. Even in the deepest depressions where they can't take care of themselves, most will kill themselves before ever neglecting their pets. It is a fight you can win. Sometimes your depression gets depressed and doesn't think it's worthy, making you see for a split second how stupid it is. Body is always sore. It makes your expectations for everything go way down, which can actually be quite useful. Having trouble putting on those last 30 pounds? Well, have I got news for you. Mine gifted me extra 30 pounds. Stop being depressed, just stop being sad. Depression is not sadness. I hate that an overwhelming number of people believe this, and as a result many depressed people don't receive proper care from parents or guardians. It'd be better if depression was sadness. Depression is more the lack of basic emotion. If you start hurting yourself, you'll get addicted to it. The first time will be because of anger. Then, it will be because you're empty. Finally, you'll feel this force making you hurt yourself because you need it. People who don't know think it's all about being mopey and sad, when it's really just pure rage and anguish that drives people to self-harm, and then that becomes the only outlet for their anger. With the right meds you can appear unfazed by a heartbreak or betrayal and win the breakup. Haha, this was me last year. Broke up with girlfriend of 2 years while on Zoloft. I was upset during the conversation that she was delaying me having breakfast. Took until getting off the meds to realize that I just nonchalantly ended the whole thing with no emotion or empathy. Those meds really messed with my head. I'm still coming to terms with not living in the fog. The thing you want most in the world, your greatest desire, the most beautiful beauty, will melt into nothingness and you will no longer care about it. Considering it is depression we are talking about, there are no fun facts. A sad fact: depression makes you depressed. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's the people around you. It can be hard to know the difference. I realized it when I was telling my therapist about everyone else and realized I'm in therapy because of others, not myself anymore. As a soon-to-be licensed practitioner, I took the advice I would give my clients. Get in the mindset of not caring and worrying so much about others, even your loved ones. Be more selfish. You know what's odd though? Depression isn't a thing you can describe and have people just get, you know? Like, in order to understand what people with depression are talking about, you have to have experienced it yourself. And even then, you still might not understand because depression can be different for everyone. When I first heard descriptions of depression, I didn't understand or relate to the feeling since I never felt it. Sure, I felt sad, but never depressed, so I couldn't understand the feeling of depression. I couldn't understand how someone could want to hurt themselves or worse. It made no sense to me. But now I have depression. Severe depression. And boy oh boy do I wish I never wished to understand what depression is like. Also, am I the only one who switches between insomnia and hypersomnia, and overeating and undereating? No, you're not alone. I've noticed this happens to me too. Usually it depends on the weather for me. When it transitions from warm to colder weather, I'll usually eat more and sleep more, while when it changed from cold to warm, I'll eat less and sleep less. I have also noticed when it gets warmer out, and I eat less. This change is usually sparked by an increase in anxiety about my appearance and weight. Depression pretty significantly raises your unintentional injury risk. Not self-injury, suicide, though those also increase with depression. Also, being injured increases your risk of having depressive episodes. As a frightening fact, not directly related to depression, people who have suffered a mild TBI, think concussion, are at a 2x increased risk of suicide. It's a tangled web for sure. I've had a series of unfortunate fractures in the course of 3 years. Afterwards my life went pretty much to shit. I more or less took painkillers throughout most of these 3 years. They were dissolving my gut lineage and distorted my microbiome. It is as bad as antibiotics. Brains and gut are really closely related. So maybe it's not the injuries but the painkillers. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.